I have a wild theory that Asajj coming back in Bad Batch will lead to Asajj being in Tales of the Jedi, which will lead to a live action Asajj in Mando season 4 Mandoverse. Am I crazy? Probably, but I'm gonna explain to you why I think the reason they're doing this is because we're gonna get a live action Asajj in the Mandoverse. Now we got the Bad Batch trailer the other day with the big reveal that Asajj Ventress was in there, and everybody went nuts because the timeline of the show takes place after the book Dark Disciple, where at the end she gets hit with the Force lightning from Dooku, and we thought she was dead. We thought she died, right? Not long after that trailer dropped on StarWars.com, they updated and they put, "We love Asajj Ventress. She's a character that we've been wanting to tell more stories about." And he makes it clear that her return will honor prior tales, including the book in which she apparently perished. Now, that is very specific and unique verbiage. Apparently perished. We don't want to spoil anything, but want fans to know that any new storytelling with Ventress will align with the events of Star Wars Dark Disciple. So even that right there is kind of still unclear. It's like, okay, you're saying it's gonna honor the book, but then you say apparently Paris as if she didn't. Now, the reason that people were up in arms about Asajj coming back is in the past they've kind of tweaked retcon stuff that was done in comics, in novels. So like Bad Batch season one, Kanan Jarrus's master, the way she died in that episode was different than in the comics. And then in Tales of the Jedi, with Ahsoka being on that planet fighting that Inquisitor, I believe it was a little bit different than her story in the Ahsoka novel. So people are kind of like, well, is this another one of those where you're kind of just retconning what was already pre-established and doing something different or on your own? After this, the internet detectives find stuff, figure things out. They updated Asajj's entry on StarWars.com's data bank. And what it said here was Ventress insisted on working alone until she found an unlikely partner on Pandora, Quinlan Voss, who had been sent by the Jedi Council to assassinate Dooku. Ventress joined Voss in hopes of destroying Dooku, but grew to love the Jedi. On Ventress's homeworld of Dathomir, Voss participated in Night Sister rituals, opened himself up to the dark side to complete the quest, but through their connection, Ventress found herself coping with feelings she thought she purged from herself, love, compassion, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, Ventress sacrificed herself to save Quinlan's life, taking the brunt of Dooku's force lightning during their final confrontation. But that wasn't the end of Asajj's story. That pretty much confirms, like, she's not dead. She survived that. So, is it retconning it or is it just, like, continuing the story after the book ends? Because I haven't read it yet. I'm gonna read it pretty soon, and I believe at the end, Quinlan takes her body to Dathomir and puts her, like, in some lake or some river or something, and I think there's maybe Night Sisters there chanting or something. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. Comment down below if I don't know what I'm talking about that. But what if like she wasn't dead, or what if like she got revived or something? I'm sure maybe we'll get how she survived maybe within Bad Batch, but to me, for them to be this specific with updating the data banks, and then when the trailer drops making a post specifically talking about Dark Disciple, it leads me to believe that they have a bigger plan. The next thing I started to think of, well, Tales of the Jedi season 2, who's it gonna follow? Like, I would love it to follow Balin and Shin. It'd be great to see how they met, that story. Selfishly, I would love it to be another part, Palpatine with a young Darth Maul, training Darth Maul. I would love to see something like that. Comment down below who you guys want to see in Tales of the Jedi season 2 and what two Jedi Sith you want them to kind of follow. But now this is a wild theory. This is where my brain is going. Asajj is in Bad Batch, so we're gonna get some more Asajj there. What if Tales of the Jedi season 2 follows Quinlan and Asajj, similar to how season 1 followed Ahsoka and Dooku? Now, hear me out. Quinlan, Jedi, kind of turned Sith, dark side, but then he turned back to the light, right? And Asajj was a Jedi. Asajj started off as a Jedi. So she was a Jedi. She witnessed both of her masters get slaughtered in front of her. And then she found Dooku, and Dooku trained her and kind of took her in. And then after Dooku kind of put her to the side, she went back to Dathomir with the Night Sisters. So it would be interesting to see more tales of that, and, like, they could kinda intertwine it since Quinlan and Asajj, they kinda get together later on, so it'd be kinda cool. They could do a couple episodes of Quinlan, a couple episodes of Asajj, and then the finale or the final 2 could almost kinda be like a continuation of Dark Disciple, or even showing just more stuff with them together. If that happens, and you heard it here first, and I could be completely wrong, and none of this in this video would just it makes no sense. But if that happens, if we go from Bad Batch with Asajj to Tales with Asajj, she will be in live action in the Mandoverse for sure. I said this on a video a long time ago. It was either a live or a podcast, and it was after the finale of Ahsoka, Thrawn's on Dathomir. So right away, my mind went to Darth Maul and Asajj, and we know they love resurrecting people, and we even saw in Ahsoka the Night Sisters resurrecting the Night Troopers. They resurrected Marak. So instantly, in my mind, I was like, man, what if they like resurrect Darth Maul? His body is over there on Tatooine, and that's just me being a Darth Maul fanboy and selfish. It doesn't make sense to the story, but Asajj Ventress now does make sense, because at that same time I said, or what if they like, resurrect Asajj? Originally, I was like, they could resurrect Darth Maul and Asajj, and then they could kind of work for Thrawn, because Thrawn needs some Force users by his side for whatever we see with Thrawn in Ahsoka season 2, or Mando season 4, or the Mando movie. Thrawn has to have Force users. He has to, because he's gonna have to deal with Ezra. He's gonna have to deal with Ahsoka eventually. He's probably gonna have to deal with Luke freaking Skywalker. So, like, come on. You're gonna have those three old broads, like the three old Night Sisters, the great Night Sisters, the great grandmothers, whatever they're called. Like, no. So he needs some Force users. He doesn't have Balin. He doesn't have Shin. They're lost in Peridia. Rest in peace to Balin. Ray Stevenson. So, like, for the story, he needs some sort of Force user. Now, I haven't read The Heir to the Empire, but I know he had something in there. Like, I think a Joris Sabayoth is what I hear all the time. Comment down below if that's right or not. He needs it. So, like, my mind back then went to it'd be cool if it was Asajj, but now after all of this, it's almost like, are they bringing her back in Bad Batch to kind of like introduce her to everybody again? And are they gonna bring her in Tales? And are we gonna get more of her story in Tales? And then is it gonna lead to her being live action in Mando season 4, in the Filoni movie? And she has a lot of history with Ahsoka, so it would be crazy in Dave Filoni's movie or in Ahsoka season 2, seeing Ahsoka see Asajj again for the first time. Because the last time they saw each other was when Barriss Offee was trying to frame Ahsoka. So, like, it'd be just crazy just to see, because they have so much history. And if she's working for Thrawn, oh, I would love to see a live action lightsaber fight with Asajj and Rosario's Ahsoka. It just would be so cool, and Thrawn's just there in the background lurking, like. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys think that's a possibility, let me know if that's something you guys would want to see, or let me know if I'm just crazy and there's no way this is ever happening. Because there is a good chance that none of this will ever happen. But there is a little bit of hope with her being back in Bad Batch, and all the specifics on the data banks, on the website about her apparently not being dead. So, like, I'm just trying to figure out why they would specify that she's alive and we're gonna get more of her. So I'm excited to see what happens. You guys let me know in the comments what you think, and check out this video next.